channel. Today I'm privileged to be with somebody who has great history from the journey in search of education, how he traveled all the way from Kenya to Slovakia through Uganda and all that. That is in the 60s when there was Cold War. I'm not going to talk much. Let him talk to himself. Kindly introduce yourself.
I'm Daniel Langat. Daniel Langat Kipkurui.
Can you tell us about when were you born and
I was born.
how you were educated?
I was born in August 25th, 1937.
Where?
At the Siongit Tebesone location.
Okay, can you tell me briefly about your education journey?
My education journey started in Nairobi by OTC bus to Soroti, from Soroti to Gulu, spent a night in Gulu. The following day, early in the morning, we took a bus from Gulu to Atiak at the border of Uganda and Sudan. Then we traveled by night to a certain village near the border, and we all welcomed at night by residents around a school. Then they fed us, and then at night they told us they are in Sudan is under military government, so we should not be seen, or else we shall be repatriated back to Kenya. So they made an arrangement to take us beyond the barracks at night, and they did so and kept us in a certain village after the barracks, where we spent a whole week. When the owner of the place we were residing was planning to go to Juba on shopping. And then the day came, and then took us by his own vehicle to Juba. Juba, we were received by students from Rumbek High School, and who took care of us when we were staying in Juba. In Juba, we stayed for a week, and the day came when the steamer was to move from Juba, heading on River Nile.
Which year was this?
This year,
Yeah.
it was 62.
1962.
1962.
Before the...
It came at the day those students became useful to us. They went to get us tickets from steamer shops, which we used to go to travel on River Nile. It came the day on a Saturday when the steamer was due to leave Juba for Costi. So we boarded at night, spent the night until very early in the morning when we moved to Khartoum. And on the way to Khartoum, we docked at Costi. That was the destination of the steamer. So we got the train from the Costi to Khartoum. We went to Khartoum by train, and we reached the international hotel in Khartoum, where we were accorded to spend the night there. So and then we were to stay in that hotel for about a week.
Okay. Then from there now, how did you connect from Khartoum to
From Khartoum, we had gone to university to see a friend, and then our documents which we came without from Nairobi arrived. And we were away. But when we arrived home at the hotel at night, we were told that the documents came plus the transport.
What was the reason why you traveled that long route instead of just using an aeroplane direct from from Nairobi to Czechslovakia?
Oh, because of because British were not allowing people to go to eastern countries, so there was no direct flight to Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
We were to get the plane from Cairo to Czechoslovakia.
Okay. How was it? So your document arrived, then you went to Czechslovakia.
Went to Cairo first.
Went to Cairo
and spent at Cairo waiting for a flight from Czechoslovakia. When it arrived is when we aborted and then went to Czechoslovakia.
Oh, that is amazing. Tell me, how was everything when you arrived in now the journey from Cairo to Czechoslovakia? How was it?
The journey was light. Having been in a flight.
That was your first time in a flight?
No, I had aborted the one from Khartoum to Cairo.
This was the second one.
But this one are from the east. So we were recognized, we were seeing their planes, how they look like. Because it's a strange country.
How was life in Czechslovakia? And being now from a tropical country where it's warm, and now you're in a very cold place.
Oh yes, it's cold. In winter it is very cold. All Europe is just like that. But in Czechoslovakia in winter it is very cold. But when it is summer it's also very hot.
How was the reception, the language barrier, the what do you call culture shock?
Oh, the Westerners were very good people. They were welcoming people from West Africa because at that time they were struggling to get independence. So they are the people who helped them who helped the Africans to get independence. So they were very appreciative and cooperative and very assistable.
But that changed after some time.
Yes.
What happened?
Then it was their domestic affairs. They ran short of meat and all this, and they were eating meat from Pharisees.
So they started attacking
and they were importing meat from Europe, from America, Britain. So they didn't like foreigners. These are just it was not the people from the government, the ordinary people.
The local, the population.
Population.
Because of food shortage, they started attacking Africans.
They are attacking Africans. They said these foreigners are finishing meat.
And food and everything. Then what did you do?
We decided to go out of Czechoslovakia. I went to Germany, where
you seeking asylum.
I seek asylum, and then we arranged. They went to British embassy. They arranged to send us back home. So we came home.
That is how you find yourself back in Kenya. But then you went again back to the east.
Yes.
What happened that you decided to go back to the east? And can you tell us?
It was we went there because of availability of scholarship. So any scholarship which was available at that time, I had to embrace. So I went to East.
Which country now?
I went to Russia.
For a period, for how long?
For 2 years.
For 2 years. Then you finished your 2 years, you came back to Kenya.
I came back to Kenya.
Then what happened when you came back to Kenya?
Chengi ay kakiyo. Mi chai. When I came back to Kenya, there were no jobs. We didn't get jobs, so we had to stay without jobs. We went to a number of places looking for jobs, but they were not available for a long time, a number of years.
Because of that discrimination, anybody who was coming from the east were... This was during the Cold War era.
Yeah.
So anybody who was coming from the east countries was not well received.
It wasn't received, especially when you have no relatives to assist you. Those who were relatives in government got jobs.
But anybody else was seen with a lot of suspicion.
Yeah.
Then what happened now when you didn't get jobs?
We got desperate for a long time until I met a friend of mine, and he told me a plan that they wanted to topple the government. So he persuaded me, and I joined the group, and we planned to topple the Kenyatta's government.
That is in 1971.
1971.
Who are these people who are planning to topple the government? Who are they? Do you maybe have their names? And what was their agenda?
Agenda is that they wanted to federate East Africa. And we are glad that what we initiated or what we wanted is now in the making. So we are.
So the agenda number one was you wanted the East African Federation.
East African Federation.
Which is happening now.
That we get jobs and all this.
What was their agenda?
Another agenda is discrimination. We were not getting jobs. People were at the government were looking down at us.
So that is good. So how was the planning of the coup? What time were you meeting? Did you have meetings? Who were involved?
We were involved as maybe some people have seen in the papers when we were sentenced. They saw me, Daniel Kipkuri Langap, Eliud Kipserem Langap, Joseph Owino, Dr. Uma, refused Uma, and others. And the chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Mutiso.
Gideon Mutiso. This is the late Gideon Mutiso. This is former MP Yatta.
That's former MP Yatta.
Okay. So these are the people, the people who were spearheading. So you say you were meeting, discussing openly?
Yeah, not openly.
When was the meeting?
Secretly.
Where were you meeting? Hotels?
We were meeting at hotels, sometimes on the private rooms in the hotels, or sometimes in the houses.
In hotels, were you not afraid that the eavesdropping or the government agents will maybe get the info?
We were aware, but we were brave. We were not fearing because we were determined to topple the government.
Were you not afraid that you have moles inside you, or maybe double agents? The work upande ile ya serikali.
That was opportunity where we can meet, so which matter. Where we didn't mind about Yes, drop.
It's dropping. Okay, so then tell us now the progress. You are meet, you are arrange. Where was the funding come from? Because you know, arrange this kind of thing. Who was funding all this movement?
The funding, there were a group of Luos which were organized by WINO. Those are the one which financed the whole thing. Even when we hired the lawyer, all this came from the Luo community.
You are pulling resources
Pulling resources
to make sure you
because he's a winner at the later mutiny before. So he was a conversant and he's a man who went to London. He used many things.
He was a radical and he knew what he wanted. So mkaingia ndani. Sasa mumefanya. What happened? Why what happened? The coup didn't succeed. What was the reason?
The coup did not succeed because of our own miscalculation. We underrated the government, and we planned too wide because we wanted to involve the heads of state in East Africa, which did not materialize because of some miscalculation.
So you wanted to inform Nyerere
and
Obote in this was 1971, right?
1971.
So you wanted to inform because you say your objective was to bring the East African together. So you were like, man, we need to the backing of this other two East African countries.
So there was the poor coordination. That landed us into trouble.
How can you say there were poor coordination, and I can see there were very learned people inside there? You had links in the military, like Kipserem was in the military. Yes, right? Eric Chikwan was in GSU. You had other people in the military, right?
Yes. Even Major General
Dole was there also. So I can see it was everything was like in place.
Yes. But anything it was planned and miscalculated.
Once you know, this is a coup, exactly. Understand? This is a coup.
It's a coup. And can fail or can succeed.
And every small miscalculation
can spoil it.
Can spoil it. And the consequences are usually there. They say when coup succeeds, the people who are planning become heroes. But when it fails, you become a villain.
It's a strategy for us.
Strategy. So tell me, when it failed, what happened to you?
It became jobless. It came at home, no job.
No. Tell us when it failed immediately. This is 1971. The coup has failed. You have been, what happened?
We were rounded up and sent to court. And we were sentenced. I myself and 3 other collegians got 3 and 7 years. And other from the community got 8. And then Wino himself, who was mastermind, got 9. Mutiso was
the chairman of
the Revolutionary Council. It was Mutiso.
He got 9. Got 9. You served the
whole sentence. When we finished 7 years, we came when we left others behind. They had to finish their term.
Were you not afraid that maybe coups leads to what we call maybe the hanging, execution? This is 70s.
But when you are desperate, you take the risk.
You take the risk. And I was live in prison.
life was not so bad because we were being politicians. We were put in a segregation block. Each prisoner in his own cell, locked up at night alone. Yes. We were not mixed with other people.
These are political prisoners.
Yeah.
So you are segregated differently.
We are segregated.
You are not mixed with all other prisoners.
Yes. And they were giving us books to read. Yes.
Okay. That is good. And what was like day-to-day activities in prison?
Oh, hard work. Hard work.
Kazi ngumu.
Take it better. I won't specify.
You won't tell us the details.
The details.
Hautaki kutoboa siri ya serikali.
Bana toboa siri ya serikali. Serikali.
Ukamaliza, you finished your 7 years in prison.
Yes.
Well, that is where Naivasha. 7 years in prison. Hey, ukatoka. How was life when you came out? Things have changed. You know, this is 71 to 78. That is, things have changed. How was it?
Things have changed.
How was the reception?
Reception at home. Of course, our relatives received us nicely. Ginger the mombas for us. Yeah, we were welcome at home, having been away for so long.
Were you visited while in prison?
I was not visited, in particular, but some of my friends were visited.
What do you think was the cause of that?
The distance. And I had, I didn't have somebody who was really able to organize coming all the way to Naivasha.
For those 7 years?
Yeah. So I excused them.
Don't you think maybe it could be because you are a political prisoner and people are afraid to be associated with you, that, you know, they are afraid that they may also be jailed?
That thing is there. Even after we had came out, you see people are a bit scared even to welcome you or to greet you. Yes.
Anasema alikuwa alijaribu kupindua serikali ya Kenyatta. You are daring, trying to overthrow Kenyatta's government.
Yes, Lord man.
Ile mtu mwenyewe kwa ndevu. You wanted to overthrow him na vimbo. So that is all life. So when you came out, ukajaribu, assimilation into society was very difficult.
It was very difficult.
Because of that stigma.
Yeah. Until the only job I got was after coming is cereal. A friend of mine employed me on cereal. I became a casual clerk and buying center. I went on. I went to a number of places until I was confirmed and become a casual clerk in a depot. When I was confirmed, I was sent to Loitoktok, and later on Darbo, later on to Mlesoria, where I terminated my job.
How old were you when you came out of prison?
I was 40 years.
40 years. And you had not started family?
No. I came to marry immediately.
Yeah, that is 40 years.
After 40 years.
At 40 years.
Yeah.
Tell me, this one. You say you are related to Eric Chepkwony, one of the people who, how related were you to Eric Chepkwony?
Eric Chepkwony is my cousin.
And you served with him?
We served with him in prison.
For the 7 years?
For the 7 years. When we came out, we were welcome. We went into their home. And it happened one day, we went went to visit my brother in Kitale, where there was a home with my brother in Kitale. So he saw a certain girl from my uncle's farm.
That is Eric Chekonyu, your cousin.
Oh.
Now tell us about Kipserem Lagat.
Yeah, that's
from
the
Nandi.
one. Yeah.
The person, he was in the military.
Yeah.
In the military, the same person you served you were conflicted with. Tell me, you say when you came out, you in the twist of event, you became related. You married your relative.
He married my relative, but since he got knowing each other with this girl. We married when I took him to that area.
You went there to, like, you were going there to be welcomed?
We were welcome, and then he saw the girl, and we made the friendship.
And then the relationship started, and then you became relatives.
Relatives.
That is interesting. That's somebody you wanted to overthrow the government with. You served in the prison, the prison term together. They came out
and became friends.
Relatives. They saw your cousin.
Yeah.
And then you went ahead and married. And then you became relatives.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Okay, maybe you tell us closing remarks on. You tell people, encourage them. Your journey is very interesting for somebody who decided to go look for education that long, traveling all the road from Kenya to Uganda to Southern Sudan, Khartoum, all the way in search of education. That is inspiring. What can you tell the young people now who may be facing some obstacle in their way of achieving their goals?
I tell them to embrace education. Education is key to everything in the modern times. So I tell them to study very well. During our time, we had only one university in East Africa, and it was it was taking very few people. But nowadays, there are many universities in East Africa. So why got you send the people, children to those schools, those universities?
Okay.
So I encourage parents to send their children to school.
And on that part of where you tried to control Kenya's government, what lesson did you learn that you may want to share with
people? What I'm saying is that we failed miserably in that plan, and therefore I tell people to not to play with anything when you are not prepared properly.
Because the consequences.
I find the consequences is because we were disorganized. We were not properly planned.
Okay.
That's why we failed.
That's how you failed.
But I thank Kenyatta government for not strangling us.
For not putting the hook on your
but gave us a small hard labor.
Hard labor.
But
7 years of hard
labor.
labor.
We recognize that we
take it.
We risk it.
You risk it, and you had a cost.
We had a cost.
You had a cost.
Yeah, I had a cost.
You had a cost. So
until now I'm feeling unwell on my bucket.
Yeah, because of the hard labor you did.
Hard labor I did in jail.
In jail. 7 years.
7 years.
Unaumwa na mgongo.
Mgongo.
So you tell people on the prison where you serve, on that part where you serve prison term or trying to overthrow the government, you are telling people if you have a cause, go for it. But make sure you are prepared. Is that what you are trying to say?
Yeah. Correct.
Don't be like you.
Whatever you do, don't fail.
Don't fail. If you are trying to overthrow,
As we fail.
if you are trying to overthrow the government, make sure you never fail. Okay. Thank you very much for your time, and we are really grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.